tous les amis, c'est KevCrude54 sur Twitch et je vais vous présenter pour ce nouveau live. Évidemment, on fera deux jeux aujourd'hui. En premier jeu, on fera du Becomes Pins et en deuxième partie d'émission, on fera du Dreamlight Disney Valley. C'est parti les amis, sans perdre de temps, on est 4 heures ensemble, 17h, 19h pour la première partie et 19h, 21h pour la deuxième partie. C'est parti les amis. Est-ce qu'on m'entend déjà pour commencer ce live? Est-ce qu'on m'entend? Ok, on m'entend. Donc c'est parti les amis, j'ouvre la Xbox, bien évidemment. Le replay sur YouTube de Deathloop est désormais disponible sur YouTube. Kevin plus de la tour en majuscule. Likez, commentez, followez, s'il vous plaît, merci bien. On est toujours à 24 followers, donc c'est cool. Hop. Et c'est parti les amis pour le Bacon Pins. J'espère que ce jeu va marcher. Alors, nickel, le jeu il marche. Tac, on passe en jeu. Et oui les amis, en ce moment c'est que de la découverte. Vu qu'on a fini le marathon il y a 2-3 jours, Jack and Daxter, et on fait que des découvertes. Donc voilà. Hop. C'est parti les amis, on va jouer à la manette. Hop. Est-ce qu'il y a du son? Je sais même pas s'il y a du son. Ah, s'il y a du son, j'ai parlé trop vite. Bon, le jeu est encore en anglais.
Though it might at first appear like many books you've come across, it is far from ordinary. You may, therefore, have some misunderstandings about its nature. The story that awaits you has not been fully told. In fact, its conclusion is not yet known. It is in that way that my book is special. It is in that way that you are special. Without you, there is no story. Chapter 1.
Chapitre 1.
Normal isn't what it used to be. This is a story about change. Nestled in a shallow valley is the town of Beacon Pines. Far from the town square, across the river, past the neglected welcome sign, the young boy walks alone at dawn. His name is Luca Van Horn, and like you, dear reader, he's here for a reason.
Alors. Hey Dad. Watching Wing. Donc c'est un peu des jeux, un jeu, je crois que c'est fait à la main les dessins. Hey Luca!
Rolo was Luca's closest friend. He possessed many fine qualities, but subtlety was not one of them.
Il parle comme dans Animal Crossing, des bruitages.
Rolo finally noticed the tears welling in his friend's eyes and the flowers on the grave.
Alors je commence. Tichle, tuche. Ticle.
Wonderful! I had a good feeling about you from the moment you opened my book. That charm is a very special thing. Very special indeed. Keep hold of it for now. Its purpose will reveal itself soon enough. Rollo looked to the side suspiciously.
Oui, pas. Tell Gran before ending Outwit Hollow.
Dear reader, forgive me for this interlude. Remember that charm you found in the dandelion patch? There are more of those special charms to discover throughout Beacon Pines. They've been known
Je sais pas
to
si on peut
reveal
changer
themselves
la
to
langue
those
tant
who
que
are
je fais.
willing. Some of them can be found in this very house.
On ne peut pas.
Since Gran had moved in, the house was more peaceful, more orderly, and more covered in flowery fabric.
Oh, Ponder.
Lucan knew that if he left without telling Gran, it would be trouble. Just some dusty knickknacks. An array of prepared meals crowded the refrigerator, each labeled with the day of the week. A pair of dull scissors, a broken can opener, a mostly empty bottle
Des
of glue,
paires de
and
ciseaux.
some loose string.
Juni.
The only piece of furniture Gran had brought when she moved in was an old hutch. Oh my, this is quite exciting. I am now certain that you are the one I've been waiting for all these years. You'll recall I was a bit coy regarding the use of charms earlier. Excuse me, I tend to have a flair for the dramatic. You are about to encounter your first turning point. There are certain times in this tale when everything hinges on a single word. Step forth, dear reader. A sturdy old wheelbarrow. A beginner's guide to gardening laid open on the bench. Young Luca would spend hours hiding in the bushes, waiting for a chance to jump out and startle his mother. She always enjoyed humoring him by feigning terror. the other hand, I suppose there's no reason to rush things. Gran will be waiting when you return. Lucan knew that if he left without telling Gran, it would be trouble.
Oh, j'ai pas été ici.
Luca paused at his parents' bedroom door. He just wasn't ready to go in yet. Gran had commandeered the upstairs closet when she moved in. Some things need shelter from a young boy's mischief, she said.
Attendez, je réponds à quelqu'un. Oh, j'ai trouvé un id. Ah, c'est la chambre.
Gran's bed was undisturbed. Luca didn't mind that she had a habit of falling asleep in front of the fireplace. It meant that he could read late into the night. Luca tossed on his favorite old sweater. Even though it was the first day of summer, a chill still hung in the air.
C'est un peu un jeu, c'est un jeu narratif, je crois. Chill.
Lucan knew that if he left without telling Gran, it would be trouble. Gran had already lit the fire. She kept a warm house, as if by grandmotherly obligation.
Ah, j'ai trouvé. On a trouvé.
The less Gran knew, the better for everyone involved.
We're just gonna.
We were just gonna go chill for the day. The best lies are built on truth. Easy.
Facile.
Impressive. You've managed to navigate your first turning point without too much of a mess. That is the power of charms. A single word can change everything. I think it's time to introduce you to the Chronicle. The Chronicle is a record of the decisions you've made. You can see the turning point, which has been revealed.
Dommage que ça en anglais.
At any time,
Sinon, j'aurais
you
tout
can
lu.
use the Chronicle to go back and invoke different charms, creating new branches. Luckily for us, this is the one and only turning point where the charms won't dramatically alter fate. It's the perfect opportunity to experiment with rewriting things. We were just gonna go hide for a
Hide?
day. Traditionally, when one is trying to hide something, they avoid literally using the word hide.
Raccourci. Alors, get into trouble in roll.
For a town that saw few visitors, the welcome was perhaps more grand than necessary.
Ok.
Chapter 2.
Chapitre 2, déjà.
Welcome to Beacon Pines. For many years, this valley had been a small mining outpost. It wasn't until Sharper Valentine built his fertilizer company that Beacon Pines was established. Over the next 30 years, the town had grown and prospered until the foul harvest and his sudden death. In the 6 years since, everyone was simply trying to get by. William Kerr was the CEO of Perennial Harvest Company. He had become a fixture around town over the past few years. After the failing of Valentine fertilizer, the town was hungry to welcome a new source of employment.
Oula, lui il est gros, hein. C'est un ours.
Mayor Augustus Valentine was not busy. Flustered, Gus instinctively loosened his tie. Whenever Luca saw his dad's chair by the pond, it reminded him of the days they'd pack up a couple of sandwiches and fish until sundown.
Alors. Pêcher.
Luca opened the tackle box and picked the perfect bait. Luca tied a shoestring to the hook. What fish could resist a nice shoestring? Luca tied what fish? Luca gently baited a feather onto the hook, good for skimming the surface.
Oh, j'ai un canard.
The boys had a good thing going. As long as they kept old Jeff happy, they had an endless source of precious materials to add to the treehouse. On certain nights, when the clouds were just right, the boys could tune into strange patterns of static.
Okay.
Rolo thinks it's aliens. He always thinks it's aliens.
Il dort.
Mr. Sinclair continued snoring and lifted one eyelid just enough to see who it was. A tactic he often used to avoid undesirable conversation.
Comme à la Animal Crossing.
He pulled a pen from the pocket of his sweater vest and began to frantically jot something down on a clipboard.
Well.
He'd stopped scribbling and glanced up from
Pose
the
des questions,
clipboard.
le renard. Qu'y a-t-il? Merci. Un petit chat. Oh, c'est grand ici en fait. Voilà tout le monde, hein, bien évidemment.
Oh, right. Rendezvous with Roxy. This is an important turning point. The first time where your charms will change the course of fate. And currently, we only have one suitable charm at our disposal. Have no fear, we can always return later using the Chronicle once we find more charms. Well, now I'm just rambling. Where were we?
Ok, on a fait la quête.
Rolo froze as Roxy took a step
Je
toward
reviens
him,
les amis, je
cracking
cherche un truc à boire, j'ai
knuckles.
très soif. Le voilà.
Luca knew he had one chance to save his friend from being dragged home.
Ah, il y a que ça.
In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little chill.
Investigate de Valentine Wadurs à la Allen.
Holden Wilder ran the local paper of record, the Beacon.
Change. On va aller vers la droite.
A bit much, if you ask me.
Cool.
Jeff's hardware closed down about a year ago. The effects of the foul harvest stretched wide. When there are no crops in the field, tractors don't need fixing.
Cool. Alors, par contre, on va du hein. Blablabla. Vous avez touche de piano, les amis. C'est du piano. Pum. Pum, 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 pum.
A promise Gran regretted the second it was made.
Pum, pum.
The phone booth was brand new, part of Perennial Harvest's Beacon Pines Reborn initiative. It didn't see much use.
Ok. Ouh là là.
The path led into a small hollow at the edge of Weepwood.
C'est des montagnes.
The fence thrummed with a gentle electric buzz. Luca often asked himself what Rollo would do, so that he could rule out that option.
Pas aller pour l'instant.
Luca knew that if he gave up now, he'd never hear the end of it from Rollo. As sparks flew from the fence, the light atop that section shut off. 2 bulbs remained. One more to go. The fence's buzzing gave way to silence.
Oh, j'ai réussi.
Every kid in town knew the old Valentine fertilizer building. Long abandoned, the warehouse once served as the industrial heart of Beacon Pines. Now, it stood only as a reminder of things left behind. The dormant building showed strange signs of life. There was only one way to find out.
Voilà.
Luca thought
Fermé.
he heard faint sounds coming from the other side of the door. He pressed his ear against the cold metal to hear better. The sound of footsteps grew louder.
Shit, c'est de la merde.
The heavy steel door knocked Luca to the ground. Disoriented, he looked up to see an imposing figure silhouetted in a green glow. It lunged toward him. He tried to scramble away, but felt a gloved hand latch onto his ankle. Luca watched his fingernails leave trails in the dirt as the hand slowly dragged him back through the door, into the lab, into the green light. This is a story about change. It was far from the sort of change Luca imagined for himself. But change is, after all, a dangerous animal. The end? I probably should have warned you about this. There are many paths that our story can take. Most will end in tragedy, but don't let that discourage you. We will find the ending that this story deserves. I just know it. From here on out, a charm will have a check mark when it's been used to its full potential at a given turning point. Now, let's try something different. This is a story about change. It was far, but change is the... There are many paths most will, and we will find from here on out now. Let's... In the past, he found the best way to deal with an
Shit.
enraged Roxy was to be a little shit.
Oh, Cham.
As the glowing windows of the old warehouse came into view, Rollo began to bounce excitedly.
Bon, c'est quoi qu'on rentre dans le bâtiment? va couper la quête. C'est radioactif ou quoi, tu vois?
The boy sat petrified under the weight of the bag. Rollo felt around at the large sack which burdened them. He snapped off a tag from just within a small zipper opening in the bag. Rollo held the badge up to a faint shaft of light within the dumpster.
Oui, oui, oui. Oula, elle a eu peur.
Lucas sat in the dark, tracking the sound of Rollo's footsteps as he ran. 1, 2, 3. He pressed his ear to the dumpster wall, straining to hear Rollo's footsteps as they faded away. 15, 16, 17. He tried not to think about the contents of the dumpster as he counted. 35, 36, 37. The thick stench made it hard to breathe. Screw it, that's long enough. Luca carefully lifted the lid and peered out. Nothing. No sign of Rollo. No sign of the man in the yellow suit. Time to haul ass. Luca clambered from the dumpster, stumbling to his knees. He was up like a shot and running, sprinting toward home as fast as he could. Deacon Hines flew by, blurred by the tears that welled up in his eyes. He wouldn't remember getting home at all that night. Throwing his front door open, storming up the stairs to his room and surrendering to sleep almost as abruptly as he hit his pillow. Chapter 3.
Chapitre 3.
Finding a friend. The next morning, it was quieter than usual at the breakfast table. Only the sound of silverware and chewing interrupted the awkward silence.
Moi, c'est codé ça.
furrowed. She let out a long sigh. Her voice was quiet and even. Luca was desperate to check in with Rollo. Until Gran returned, he was trapped. An eerie electronic sound echoed from Luca's bedroom. A pit formed in Luca's stomach. Luca's mouth felt dry. Luca could feel his heart beating in his throat.
Ok, pour l'instant ça se passe très bien le jeu. Pas très compliqué. Alors, check de librairie for Rollo.
Toby looked up from the clipboard excitedly.
Yes. Right. voir à l'endroit où il y a les trucs toxiques.
Kato volunteered at the library during the summers. He wasn't very social, so he'd dedicate each summer to becoming an expert in a single subject, making him a reliable source of very particular knowledge. If you were to ask Kato something he didn't know, he'd escape into the dusty old bookshelves and return with just the right thing. Kato was lost in his reading. Luca crooked his neck to see the title, Introduction to Melitology.
Oh, mignon.
He gestured to the shelves.
Nickel. Chat noir.
Beck's family moved often, giving her little time to establish any real connections. She would tell you she prefers it that way. Luca shifted his feet uncomfortably. Beck pulled a coin from her pocket. After the foul harvest destroyed their
On
wealth
n'a
and
pas été encore
reputation,
ici.
the Valentines shuttered off their estate from the rest of town. The Valentine mansion loomed over every other building in town, both figuratively and literally.
Qu'écoute. Allez. Dommage. Ah, pour faire le tour.
Luca felt a chill as he approached Beck. Her eyes were locked on the strange green liquid. The nearby grass was coated in a fine layer of frost.
Je reviens les amis, je vais sur pause, me faire un café, je reviens tout de suite. Oh, voilà les amis. Je suis fatigué, je fais trop de bonheur. Yup. Blablabla.
Iggy took a step towards Luca, his sneer lit by the glowing puddle. Beck could see tears welling in Luca's eyes, his fists clenched. Some things about Beacon Pines were very different from the city, but a bully from a hayseed town is really no different from a city bully. Beck took a deep breath and thought. Well, time to bust out the tickles. Beck lunged forward and began to tickle under Tish's arms.
Yup.
Tears began to form in Tish's eyes as she gasped for breath between gales of laughter. Beck redoubled her efforts until Tish finally had had enough. Iggy's eyes darted around, a realization dawning on his face that he was now... Iggy kicked.
On est déjà au chapitre 3, les amis, dans le jeu. Ça va vite.
Beck shook the ooze out of her hair as best as she could. Chapter 4.
Chapitre 4.
The best policy.
Le roi de la police, je crois que c'est ça.
Luca paused for a moment, catching his breath. He'd only just met Beck, and somehow he already managed to drag her into this mess. Hopefully he could make it up to her, but finding Rollo was his primary concern. Roxy and Fitz looked drained. It was clear they'd spent all day searching. Roxy's temper could often be dismissed as the impatience of an older sibling, but this was the most intense Luca had ever seen her. Her eyes were wild and unfocused, looking straight through Luca. In a torrent of rambled words and tears, Luca broke down.
Donc je répète les amis qu'après, on quittera le live 10 minutes avant, le temps de capturer le jeu Dreamlight Valley Disney. On fera 2 heures dessus jusqu'à 19h jusqu'à 21h, ce sera la deuxième partie d'émission. Donc voilà.
Roxy, still exhausted and angry, softened briefly as her eyes hunted the ground and thought. With a determined sigh, she looked up at Luca. Roxy drew herself up. Roxy tried to think of the safest place to send Luca. quick nod. Looking into the puddle, Roxy rubbed her arms to warm up.
On peut aller par là? On peut plus aller.
Mr. Nuncreed jumped with a start.
Ou pire.
Luca motioned to the phone booth. Mr. Nuncreed gently placed one of his substantial hands on Luca's shoulder.
Okay.
Luca peered up at Mr. Nuncreed. Kind eyes warmed a stern face. There was a deeper emotion hiding beneath it all. It was subtle, but Luca could sense something eating away at him.
Charme.
A deep sadness. If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried about Rollo, maybe he could help. Mr. Nuncreed raised an eyebrow.
La musique angoissante.
Shoulders slumped. A deep sigh bellowed from his chest. Luca attempted to take a step back, but Nuncreed's hand clamped down on his shoulder. With a firm shove, Nuncreed manhandled Luca into the phone booth. The door latched shut with a mechanical hiss. As Luca pounded the glass, the floor dropped from under his feet. The inside of the phone booth was now a loose capsule, plummeting at gravity's whim. Luca winced and pressed his hands to the walls. As he braced for impact, the capsule hurried to a surprisingly smooth stop. He felt a cold rush of air and opened his eyes with hesitance. Two large figures in hazmat suits occluded his view. Luca heard the deep, resigned voice of Mr. Nuncreed over an intercom. He knows too much. The end. Wait. No. This isn't the end. I know there's still much more. Somehow this went wrong. Okay, let's try something else. We were just gonna go ponder for the day. This was Luca's chance to sell his alibi. Nailed it.
Get into true window. On a déjà fait ça.
Chapter 2. Welcome.
On a déjà fait
It
tout ça.
wasn't over the neck until in the 60s.
On a déjà fait.
Whenever Luke, it reminded Luca tied what fish?
Une chaussure.
He pulled a pen from
On a tout fait ça déjà les amis. On repasse.
Pete stopped. William, he had become after the fate. The town was. For a town that's. The road leads sort of. I've attacked. Look at Jennifer. Mayor, I got flustered.
Qu'est-ce que je veux faire? Du coup, j'ai fait la... J'aurais vu ce que j'ai fait. Bizarre. Pondeur.
We were just gonna go ponder for the day. This was nailed it.
Chill.
In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little shit.
Putain.
This is a story about change. It was freaking deep. I probably should have warned you about this. There are many paths that our story can take. Most will end in tragedy. But don't let that discourage me. We'll find the end. From here on out, a charm will have a check mark when it's been used now. Let's...
Ok, c'est passé. Charme. Hop.
There was a shame, lurked a deep sadness. If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried about Rollo, maybe he could help. Mr. Nun. Mr. Nun, a deep...
Je pense que ça on l'a déjà passé, on l'a déjà vu.
The door... As the end took a wing as he braced, he felt a call too large.
Enfin, en soi, on recule dans l'histoire, quoi.
Mr. Nunn, a D. Luca attacked with the first
De fuck.
door locked. As Luca pounded the end, Luca win as he break. He felt it too long. Luca, he know the end. Wait, this isn't. I know somehow this. Okay.
Oh merde. Putain.
This is a
Right.
story about change. It was for a change. I probably should have warned you about this. There are many paths most will end. We will, from here on out, a charm will have it now. Let's try something.
Nickel. Hop. Donc c'est mis... On va recommencer ça.
Mr. Nunn, a D. Luca, with the door locked.
De là. Ok.
As Luca, the end, Luca win as he broke. He felt it too long. Luca, he know the end. Wait, this I need somehow. Okay.
Donc c'est pas ça, ni ça. Oh merde.
Well, time to bust out the tickles. Beck luck. Tears be. Beck redoubled her. Iggy's eyes. Iggy kicked. Beck shook the ooh. Chapter the best. Luca paused. He'd only just hopefully.
Pondeur.
We were just gonna go ponder for the day. This was Luca.
Je vois sur la bonne, c'est ça.
Nailed it. We were just gonna go ponder for the day.
Nickel.
This nailed it.
Get into trouble in the roll. Bon, je sais qu'il est où. Je sais où il est. Il est en haut. Même pas. Ça on a déjà fait.
Chapter Welcome to
Quoi?
Beacon Path. For many years, it wasn't until over the next until in the 60s.
T'es sérieux? Chill.
In the past, he found the best
C'est
way
pas
to
évident.
deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little shit. We were just gonna go ponder for the day. there are many paths most will end. We will, from here on out, now, let's try. There
Ok.
was a deep, if missed.
Donc c'est ni ça ni ça. Oh putain, pas vite.
We were just gonna go hide for the day.
On va recommencer.
Well, time to bust out the tickles.
Page 16.
In the past, he found the best way to deal with an enraged Roxy was to be a little shit. A deep, if missed. There was a shame, a deep, if Mr.
Page 48.
Well, time to bust out the strange. Beck stared inside the only sign of life. At the sight of Iggy taunting, Iggy's smirk shifted to a look of
Oh, il l'a
Iggy's
tapé.
clothes were Iggy's voice began to
Ah, Struggle.
the person at the warehouse. This strange ooze and what it did to Iggy. Was Rolo caught up in all of this?
Ah, on avance. Pour 5 minutes, les amis, on va changer de jeu. On va jouer à Dreamlight Valley. C'est un jeu Disney. Mais avant, les amis, on va. J'ai coupé là pour une double VOD sur YouTube. Pum pum.
Beck glanced toward Luca. Rolo was safe. A wave of relief washed over Luca, which was quickly replaced by a sense of dread. Gran is going to kill me. If he hurried, he might just make it home before sundown. Chapter 4. Our harvest awaits. Luca took a deep breath and gingerly opened the door, steeling himself for Gran's wrath.
Faut chercher une personne, je crois.
Luca was alone. The house was empty.
Ok, il dort.
Luca was sitting by the pond, listening to small waves lap against a rock. His father sat in a folding chair in front of him. Without turning, he spoke. "Why don't you grab me some nice bait?" "Sure thing, Dad." Luca hopped over to the tackle box and popped open the lid. Inside was a rolling, buzzing mass. "We're fishing with bees?" Luca's father gave a warm chuckle. "Well, you catch more fish with bees than honey. Pick us out a good one." Luca closed his eyes and plucked out a bee. He could feel its wings struggle between his finger and thumb. Holding it at arm's length, he hurried over. His father deftly baited the hook and examined his work. "Interesting choice." With a practiced flick of the wrist, the line buzzed in a graceful arc. The water accepted it without a splash or ripple. The wrong choice, but I respect it. The pond began to freeze over. Sometimes we gotta make the wrong choice before we can make it right. Pallid ice propagated across the still surface with an alarming speed. Luca scrambled back as the ground beneath him turned cold. "Dad, I don't understand." "Sorry, kiddo. Understanding isn't always part of the deal." The relentless ice shot through the fishing line toward his father. "Dad, look out!" His father casually wound the reel. "None of it's your fault, you know. Never was." "Dad, we have to go." Luca grabbed his father's shoulders, trying to pull him away. "Please, you have to run." The ice crackled as it spread across his father's hands. That's the thing about fishing, Luca. His chest began to crystallize. You toss your hook in, and you never know what you're gonna pull out. A shock of searing cold ran up Luca's arms. He gave one last desperate tug. The chair tipped backwards in a single frozen mass. Luca tried to stop the momentum.
Elle parle beaucoup, la narratrice, hein.
He watched the icy form of his father slam into the hard ground, shattering into 1,000 pieces that crowded around his feet. "Dad, I don't understand. What does all this mean?" The gentle rustle of leaves was the only reply.
Les amis, les 50. Hop.
Luca's eyes struggled to focus on the walkie-talkie.
Tac. Je mets évidemment en intermission. Alors, je quitte le jeu, bien évidemment. Hop. Alors, les amis, c'est pour vous dire que j'ai coupé là, mais je reviens tout de suite. Le temps de capturer le jeu, de mettre le titre, et j'arrive dans 5 minutes, les amis. À tout de suite. La publication sur Facebook est déjà mise. J'ai mis pour les deux jeux, j'ai mis pour Bacon. Attendez. Bacon Pins et pour pour Dreamlight Valley. Allez, à tout de suite, les amis. Merde, je suis trompé.